Unicycle idling is not necessarily having your tire stay in the same spot on a unicycle, but pedaling back and forth so that you stay in the same general area. Let's break down some of the mechanics of idling so you can learn how to do it for the first time or get better at it if you already know how.
When idling, you're moving the pedals forward and backwards to stay upright. Even though you are technically pedaling backwards at some points, you don't need to know how to ride backwards to idle. This is due to the big differences in leaning.
To go forwards or backwards, you have to lean in that direction to go in that direction. Just like this. If you don't, the unicycle is just going to roll out from under you.
While idling, you have to stay put and move the unicycle underneath you. Look, when I'm idling, I'm not really moving my hips or my torso. The unicycle is essentially catching me when I tilt towards one direction and pushing me back the other way. So yes, you may have to lean slightly, but it's not nearly as much lean as you would as if you were trying to move forward. As I've said in a previous video, the unicycle movement when riding is not straight, it's squiggly. This is because when you're pushing the unicycle pedal past the horizontal point, you're also pushing the unicycle pedal backwards on the transverse plane on the side of its pivot point. This causes the unicycle to turn or swivel, just like pushing a revolving door. When idling, instead of the squiggle, it becomes just an arc.
Just like when you're riding forward and you lean forward, the unicycle tries to catch up with you to try to catch you. The turn also helps to catch you if you fall to the left or if you fall to the right. Now that we have a way of catching you if you fall forward, backwards, and left and right, now we gotta figure out how to use them.
Typically, an idle is a half crank movement, so you're rotating the crank halfway around and then bringing it backwards. You could do more or less than half a crank, but right now we'll focus on just the half crank. Because you'll find one leg is always on the downstroke, that leg is going to be the most efficient pedal for moving the unicycle front to back.
I'm really strong on this downstroke.
If you're falling to the left, you can move the squiggle when it's going left and catch yourself before you fall. This is a tire path that you make when you're idling.
Your hips are the main driver in what allows you to gauge how much you go left and how much you go right.
From an aerial view, let's say this yellow circle is your center of mass. You can move your hips to make your tire path arc shallow to catch yourself here. Or if you're really falling to the side, you can turn your hips to make the arc really deep.
See how much my hips are moving when I'm really trying to catch myself from going to the left?
When you're falling in the opposite direction, you can go with the squiggle when the tire path is going in that direction to catch you here too.
If I'm really gonna fall to the right, I really adjust my hips to catch myself when I'm going to the right. But all of that will come in time with more practice. Let me know in the comments below how it went, or if you have any questions or concerns. And consider subscribing if you learned something. Thanks and good luck.